November 1970. The air in western Norway is sharp and cold. A father and his two daughters are hiking in a remote valley outside Bergen, a place locals call Death Valley. It has steep cliffs and a history of accidents. They're moving along a narrow path when the youngest daughter stops. She smells something burning. And then they see it. A woman's body, charred almost beyond recognition, lying on her back among the rocks. Hey, coworkers.
Welcome to Coworkers in Crime, the podcast where office chatter meets crime discussion.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Crystal.
Yes, we really do work together.
And yes, we're totally obsessed with true crime.
From water cooler whispers to cold case deep dives,
we're here to bring you stories that keep us chatting way past our coffee breaks.
So grab your coffee,
lock your desk drawer, and let's get into this week's case.
Hey, Crystal, I hope you have your passport ready, because this case is taking us out of the U.S.
Traveling out of the U.S. I like it. Good thing it's virtual because my passport is actually out. But where are we going?
We're headed to Norway, and not the fjords and the scenery version. This is one of the country's most enduring mysteries, a case that starts with a burned body in a remote valley and spirals into aliases, coded notes, and Cold War shadows.
All right, let's go to Isdalen Valley.
The discovery happens on November 29, 1970, according to reporting from NRK, Norway's public broadcaster. The father and daughters immediately knew something was wrong. The smell of burning was strong, and the body was lying in a strange, almost staged position.
And this is a remote area, right? Not somewhere where you'd expect to even find anyone, let alone a burned body.
Exactly. The valley is steep, rocky, and isolated. When police arrived, they found the woman's body severely burned, but not completely destroyed. Her clothing had all the labels removed, and there were no identifying documents.
Okay, that's already suspicious. Like, people don't cut labels out of their clothes.
Exactly. And investigators also found burned paper, a broken umbrella, and traces of a small campfire. But the scene didn't look like a typical accidental fire. It looked intentional.
So is there an autopsy? Like, do we know? I mean, it's the 70s, so what came out of that?
This is where it gets stranger. Are you ready? The autopsy revealed that the woman died from a combination of carbon monoxide poisoning and a large dose of barbiturates, specifically a sleeping pill called phenobarbital. And this was reported by both NRK and Aftenposten, one of Norway's major newspapers.
All I can think about was, like, what was in her lungs. Like, was she drugged and burned alive and was so drugged she couldn't wake up or move? Ugh, that grosses me out.
Yeah, possibly. And it grosses me out too. The carbon monoxide suggests she was alive when the fire started, at least for a short time, but the barbiturate level was high enough to incapacitate her.
That just all I could think of was, oh no, she couldn't move. Ugh, yeah, that's hard to swallow. And that really doesn't scream accident.
No. And the police at the time were torn. Some leaned towards suicide, but others, including investigators interviewed decades later by NRK, openly questioned that conclusion. And the suicide one made me think of a case I think it was in Texas. I'd have to go back and look it up, but a woman did commit suicide by burning herself. But they thought it was murder. In that case, they thought it was a murder, but it turned out to be, it might be in Colorado, now that I think about it. I'm trying to think of what show I saw that on.
I hadn't heard about that one.
So this is where it gets weird, as if the first part wasn't weird. It gets stranger. A few days after the body was found, police located 2 suitcases at the Bergen train station that belonged to her, and the contents were bizarre.
Tell me.
I want to know how they knew it was her suitcases, though. Like, how did they connect it? Because she's not identified. So that's the part. I'm like, how do we connect the two?
Yeah, true. Maybe it's just because they were abandoned and it was so close.
Maybe. But in the suitcases, there's multiple foreign currencies, a notebook with coded entries, a wig, cosmetics, clothing with labels removed, and at least 8 different aliases she had used while traveling across Europe.
Well, maybe because the labels were removed, they connected it to her. I guess that's not common. But 8 aliases, that's not normal tourist behavior.
No, and neither is a coded entry in notebooks, which were eventually deciphered. They weren't spy codes, but travel itineraries, dates, and locations. And this was confirmed on NRK's investigative series, The Isdal Woman.
Still, though, wigs, fake names, like removing the labels from your clothes, it's given espionage. Like, or are you just, that's a very deep victim, they call that the victim program where you change your name and go on to a new life. Witness
You
protection.
would,
Thank you.
there we go. I'm like, you would ask this today. I
He
can't
just
think of it.
marches by. Witness protection. I don't even know that he's listening. Yeah, that's
yeah.
giving.
I mean,
That's
yeah.
deeper than witness protection. Like, I'm just gonna cut all the labels out of my clothes. I'm gonna have 8 different aliases. Yeah, that's
I mean,
crazy.
and this is the 70s, so we're
Mhm.
like espionage was, I assume, was big then. And a lot of people also agree with that. Even some of the original investigators said the same in interviews with NRK and the BBC.
So, did anyone know her or see her when she was alive?
Yes, hotel staff across Norway and Europe remembered her, and she was described as formal, guarded, well-dressed, sometimes wearing wigs, and speaking multiple languages. One hotel worker is quoted as saying she seemed on edge, like she was watching for someone.
I can't help but immediately think CIA, that she worked for the CIA and she was, but I mean, obviously, well, maybe would they come forward and say so, but that's where my conspiracy theory brain goes. But
And there's
that's really
also
chilling. Go ahead.
it's so bizarre. And then there were also reports of her meeting with unidentified men in hotel lobbies. None of them were ever traced.
So what
This
about
mystery,
modern? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say,
I didn't
this
mean to interrupt
mystery
you.
just gets deeper and deeper. Like, there's so many layers to this, I think.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know why, but cutting out labels of your clothes is very bizarre. I can understand, like, if you don't like tags, like, that's a level of, I mean, I don't like tags touching me either. I don't know. Is that what it was? And it was something so simple as that. And she just cut. But what do we mean by cutting out labels? Like,
I think it's the label, like the brand name, and then the size and the care tag, like just cutting it all off. That's what it sounds like to me anyway.
maybe that's why they made the connection. But cutting tags out, I don't know, stands out to me. All right. So what about modern forensic work? Like, can they run it back through to some of the things we've talked about before? Has anything new come out?
Actually, yes. In 2017, forensic isotope testing reported by The Guardian suggested she likely grew up near Nuremberg, Germany, and may have spent time in France. But testing could not pinpoint her identity.
So even with modern science, she's still a mystery, which is crazy because I think of all the like genotyping and things we've talked about lately. And then when you drop it into ancestry style to see like if there's a family tree, but I guess if none of her family tree has done anything, I don't know.
Still a mystery.
Yeah.
Still unknown to this day.
So let's talk about theories, or what are the theories out there?
Well, we got the 3 main ones and we kind of covered them. So there's suicide, murder, and espionage. We'll start with suicide. Authorities initially lean this way, but the removed labels, multiple aliases, and burned belongings complicate that explanation. Then we have murder. The scene could have been staged. The fire, the remote location, the erased identity. It kind of fits that. But the most popular theory is espionage. Norway was strategically important during the Cold War. She traveled extensively, used multiple identities, and behaved like someone trained to avoid detection. NRK, yeah, exactly. NRK and BBC both note that investigators at the time considered espionage a real possibility.
Yeah, to me that one fits better than the other two because immediately I'm thinking CIA. I'm like, this feels like someone trained to do this. Like, who speaks that many languages, has that many aliases? You know how hard it is to make an alias that's passable? So for her to have that many different identities with her, like CIA is the first thing I can think of why someone would be. Again, I go back to the cutout labels. Like, do you not want me to know where you got these? Is there a reason for that? Because you don't want me to know where you've been? Because this particular clothes would only be found, and if I have the label, I can definitely be sure that's where it came from. Like, it's interesting to me. But yeah, the espionage fits better than the other two.
It does, but unfortunately, no definitive proof for any of them.
That's wild.
But I do have another one for you.
Okay.
Which, as I was digging into this one, I realized there was another one that also had labels cut out.
Wait.
And I was like, what?
Stop.
Yeah.
Was the fact that that's what you went further on for, like, when that's the part that's bugging me the most is the labels cut out, which seems so passive, like that. So maybe it's not that big a deal, but it bugs me. So you found another case about tags cut out?
Yeah.
You're blowing my mind. Okay,
So
tell me.
this one was the Isdal Woman, a case full of shadows, unanswered question, and a woman who seems determined to erase herself. And to this day, no one knows who she is. But 25 years later, also in Norway, I might add, another woman is found dead, this time in a luxury hotel room in Oslo. No ID, a fake name, labels removed from her clothing, and a death scene that just doesn't add up.
Okay, so the next episode we're talking about the Oslo Plaza Woman for sure. I saw it on the list. So tell me about, I saw this one was known as Jennifer Fairgate. I do like this way of you introducing me to cases. This is tripped me up.
Yeah, this one was just weird because as I was reading this case that we just did, I was like, there's another case. And I'm literally Googling, like, what other major case had their tags cut out. And it brought up, and that Jennifer Fairgate is the one that I was thinking of. And that one is wild. And is it a coincidence or is there something more there? Because these happened 25 years apart, but in the same country.
Yeah, that's pretty bizarre. The cut labels, one has 8 identities, one has none. I mean, wild. There's something very bizarre about that. And is it a copycat? I can't wait to go into that one. I'm excited to hear about that one. I'm going to do my best not to research anything before you and I go through that one. But that's that is very interesting and likely a rabbit hole I'll be falling down at 3 a.m.
Oh,
thank you for
yeah,
that.
and there's actual shows you can watch on this case and on that case, and it's wild. They're wild because I got stuck on the tag thing too, just so you know, because I was like, that seems bizarre that you would cut tags out of your
Really
clothes.
does.
I mean, I cut tags on my clothes when I don't want to be reminded about what size it is, but that's a vanity thing, right?
Well, see, I cut them out if like it's right on, like when they sew them into the side, I don't really like that I can feel it on my, waist all day and every once in a while the material they use is a little rough, so I don't like it on the back of my neck. It tickles all day, so I'll cut it out. But cutting your tag out of all of your clothes is either a tick, like my husband won't buy any clothes that has a logo on it because he just doesn't want to advertise for free for other companies. He's like, I don't like the label being there. I don't like the logo there. So some people have peculiarities around clothes, but cutting your tag out of all of your clothes and in your suitcase and everything, so bizarre. And then now a completely different case. And how far apart were these? 25 years
20,
later, another?
yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, that's like copycat mentality.
So like 1990s, our second case happens in. Like, that's recent. When I think about it, 1970, okay, that was a hot minute ago. But 1990s, not that long ago.
I'm kind of frozen in the 90s because when you say 1970, I think it was like 20 years ago. No. 1990 was not even 20 years ago. That's so bad. So stuck. Well, yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that. I do want to thank a lot of our coworkers. I've had some cases sent to me. You've had some cases sent to you, so we've put them in the queue to go through. Very excited about that. We have some people that we're going to pull in to do those with us. Did you get to figure out if you'd read that book that I was telling you that Greg sent me?
I think I might have. I think I sent it to
I think
Mean Case Tracy, as you like to call her.
Mean Case Tracy. As long as you don't call her Mean Tracy, it's just Mean Case Tracy.
I think I have. I think I have read that book. It was good.
Listen for the lie.
Yeah, I usually write down all the books I read, which is kind of a weird thing, but I try to read so many pages in a year, and so that's my way of keeping track of it. But
well, don't you read the last part first and then read it?
I do.
That's so wild. I don't know how you do that. I get really frustrated. People tell me the end of something before I watch it or, spoil something for me. And you're like, hey, I'm going to just do it myself before I start reading that. But then it's also like, that's kind of cool. Like, because then the whole book, you're like, how do we get there? I would imagine that drive me crazy.
I have gone back to read the end again because I'm like, what? How are we going to get from here to the, yeah. So it's a bad
cool.
habit.
I mean, I like peculiarities and that's a good one, Rachel. Thank you for I don't know that I'll take it, but it's very cool that you can do that. I even tried using the
e-readers to prevent myself from doing that. No, I still just jumped to the last chapter. It didn't work. So I'm like, that's it. I'm going back to real books.
Yeah, I do like that book. It was good. It was a good break because it's fictional, still very neat to listen to. And it was about, a podcaster that he and his researcher, they actually solve cold cases, which is really neat. They dig in and they start interviewing people, and they ask questions that others didn't ask when they were investigating. And I think that's really what it helped me see is sometimes the most minuscule amount of information ends up being so important. So when we're digging through here, it's almost like I wonder if people who just give in the smallest tip that might have even been overlooked, if we can get people to bring in information from the past and say, hey, yeah, I remember back then I was actually a neighbor or something. I don't know. I guess the promising side of me believes that might happen, because I hate that these people go all these years and they just stay nameless or unsolved. What a
like
huge
this
unfinished
case,
business.
right? Like that, there's got to be a family missing their person.
Yeah.
That's what. Yeah.
I'm
So,
curious to know why we named her Jennifer Fairgate too. Like, I'm excited. I'm sure you know. You read the end
I do
first.
know. I do.
Yeah, you can tell me next time. All right. Well, that was a great case.
Until next time, coworkers.
See you next time.
That wraps up this week's episode.
Thanks for listening, whether you're at your office, at your home, or somewhere in between. We're glad you're here.
Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode.
Like what you heard, leave us a review and share it with your coworkers.
Got a case you want us to cover or office drama that feels criminal? Send it to us at coworkers.crimepodcast@gmail.com or check the episode notes for all of our social handles. Until next time, coworkers.
Stay curious, stay safe, and stay caffeinated.